Hello everybody and welcome back to the Cupcake Jemma channel with me, Sally. And I don't know about you, but I am ready to party. I've got my rum out and that is because we are going to be making mojito cupcakes. I asked you guys if you wanted it and you all gave me a massive thumbs up, which means I'm gonna bake it for you. Now, what is a mojito? If you do not know, it is a Cuban cocktail. It is super refreshing. It is made with fresh mint, some limes, and some rum. So, how do we make that in cupcake form? Well, it's really fun. You can do this with loads of different stuff. Like you've seen us do it here on the channel before. We take something that we like that's not a cake and we turn it into cupcake form. And it's fun to do this, guys. And as you make more and bake more, you'll kind of get a little bit used to it and the different methods of getting flavors into your bakes, and you play around and it's a bit of a trial and error kind of thing, but don't worry, I'm here to do all of that work for you and I'm going to show you how to make a mojito cupcake. So let's get started. We're going to make an all-in-one cupcake like we normally do. So we're going to start with 125 grams of both caster sugar, you can use granulated sugar if you like, and self-raising flour. And I'm going to put those both through a sieve straight into the bowl of my stand mixer. And remember, you don't have to have a stand mixer for this. You can use an electric whisk or you can just do this with some strength, maybe do a few push-ups to get your arms pumped, and then you can use a wooden spoon. Right, so along with our dry ingredients, I'm also going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and that's just to help these cupcakes get a little extra rise to make sure that they're nice and fluffy. And now into that, we're going to add some butter. So again, 125 grams of incredibly soft, unsalted butter. It's got to be soft because it's got to whip up. So that's going to go in too. And next up, it is time for our limes. So I'm going to use 2 of these limes because they're pretty small limes. They're a lot smaller than a lemon. And I'm going to zest these straight in. It's already smelling fresh as in there. So lastly, at this stage, we're going to add 2 eggs. So I'm going to crack them into a separate bowl first, as per usual. And then we're going to add those into our mixer. And all we're going to do is we're going to pop on our paddle attachment and we're going to start this mixer on a low speed, remember, because you don't want it to fly everywhere. As soon as it's started to combine, we'll get the speed up to medium to high for 30 seconds. Now it is time to add some liquid, and normally we'd just be adding some milk, but we're going to add some minty milk. So that's not just like mint extract mixed into milk. No, I have lovingly infused this milk with fresh mint to give the freshest of flavors, and it's really easy to do. So what you want to do is put some milk into a saucepan along with some fresh mint, then bring that up to the boil and then immediately drop it down to a simmer. Keep it simmering away for about 5 minutes with the lid on, and then you want to let it cool down before straining out the milk to get rid of all the mint leaves. And when it's cooled down, I mean, it smells kind of a little bit weird, but it smells awesome and it's going to really add a load of mint flavor to our cupcakes. So I'm going to be adding 1.5 tablespoons of our minty milk, and we're going to use the rest later when we make our buttercream. So again, we're going to get this mixer going on a low speed and then turn it up for another 30 seconds. And as usual, before we scoop out our batter into our cupcake pan, I'm just going to give my mixer a little scrape down because pretty much all the time you will get bits of unmixed batter and butter at the bottom, sides, and on your paddle. So once that's had a bit of a scrape, we're just going to give it a final 20 to 30 seconds and then we're done. So now let's grab our cupcake tin. So I'm doing regular sized cupcakes, but if you want to do mini ones, then by all means go ahead and do that. Fill up with your paper cases, which if you don't have any of these, you can get these from CupcakeJemma.com in the size that we use. I know a lot of you ask us where we get them from. Well, you can get them yourself now. And now I'm going to do this with my spoons, but again, if you want to use a piping bag, that's a really great way of getting nice even cupcakes. Once you've evened out all of your cupcakes, it is time to bake them. So I've got the oven set to 175 degrees C, which is fan assisted. I'm going to pop them into the center. It's always best to bake in the center of your oven. And then we're going to bake them for somewhere between 18 to 20 minutes. If you're a little bit unsure, then go for 18. We'll test them, and you do that by poking your finger on the top of a cupcake. If it springs back to life, you can take them out of the oven. If they sink a little bit, then you want to leave them in for another minute or two until they do spring back. So, see you later. All right, so cupcakes have still got 6 minutes on the timer. The kitchen is smelling beautiful right now. So we're gonna get on and make our buttercream icing, because we can always make this ahead of time. You can even make this like a couple of days before. We're gonna start where buttercream always starts, and that's obviously with some butter. Again, unsalted, soft butter that we're gonna dump in our mix. So we've got 250 grams, and we're gonna start off by whipping this on a nice medium-high speed to get it really fluffy and smooth and pale in color. Right, let's do this. Butter sufficiently whipped. You can see here how lovely and kind of silky it's gone. Delicious. So let's make it more delicious with some icing sugar. I've got 450 grams here, which I have sifted. Please always sift your icing sugar, because more often than not, it's got like huge old lumps in it, and it will take forever for it to dissolve in your buttercream. So we're gonna put half of it in, and I'm gonna use my guard for this because it is very powdery and it will go everywhere, and Sam won't be best pleased if I leave his house in a sugary sticky mess. Anyway, we'll get it on the low speed again just to combine it, and then we're gonna whip it up. Again, the more you whip, the better your buttercream. So we'll get it whipping for about 3 minutes. That is the sound of some baked cupcakes. Let's just do the little finger test here. So here we go. There he goes, springing on back. So they are done. Let's take these out, turn that off, and we'll just let these cool down here. I wish you could smell these. Maybe if I like waft it down. Are you getting it? Well, smells amazing. Anyway, let's get the rest of our icing sugar in. And remember, just like when we bake the cupcakes, every now and again, give your mixer a little scrape down. And on my hand. So we're gonna do the exact same thing again. Chuck it all in, low speed, high speed, 3 to 4 minutes. Now it is time to mojito this up, starting with our rum. Now, I know mojito geeks out there, I know it's made with white rum, but I honestly think that the dark rum in the icing is way nicer. I think it's got a nicer flavor that goes with the sweetness a lot better. But if you've only got white rum, then sure, use whatever you like. And I'm gonna start with 1 tablespoon of this rum. And if you don't want to use rum at all, that is totally fine. You might just want to go with, Sam is shocked by that idea, I can tell, but it's fine. You can just use all minty milk, or you could do a mixture of the minty milk and maybe some fresh lime juice as well. But to start with, I'm going to go for 1 tablespoon of both the rum and the minty milk. I'm going to mix this together, and then I'm going to give it a little taste and see what it needs more of. Okay, my favorite part. Oh, oh, yummy. That mint is really honestly putting through, even from just that tiny amount that we've put in, 1 tablespoon. Obviously, I reached for the rum. Ooh, what does it need more of? I'm just gonna add 1 more tablespoon, because it is all about the rum in a mojito. I'm sorry, but it is. Let's give this a final mix through, and I reckon we'll be there. Okay, let's give it a go. perfecto. That's really, really good. So, cupcakes, still very, very warm over here. Obviously, you don't want to be icing hot cupcakes. Your buttercream's just gonna melt. So I'm gonna let this cool down. With your buttercream, if you're gonna use it, you can use it straight away or you can keep it. You can just put some cling film over this bowl like I'm going to do. Or if you're making it really ahead of time, then just whack it in a Tupperware and you can store it at room temperature and you can store it for kind of up to, I'd say maximum 5 days. Obviously, the fresher the better, the closer you bake all your stuff to when you're gonna eat it, the better it's gonna be. So, let's play the waiting game. Put the rum away, Sally. Over there. Don't drink the rum. It is time to ice our little mojito cupcake. Delicious. Now I'm going to do this with a two-tone coloured buttercream. So I have separated my Rum-y minty buttercream into 2 equal parts. And one of them I'm going to leave white, but the other one I'm going to make a nice kind of pale green. And I'm going to do that using my green food paste colouring. Now, if you haven't seen any of our colouring videos or anything like that, we always recommend that you use a paste colour for any kind of bake that you want to colour that, whether that's like batter or cookie dough or icing, whatever it is, you want to use this stuff because look, you can see how thick it is. It's amazing and it's just super, super concentrate. So you just need to add a little bit and it'll be really strong. So I'm just going to add this, whiz it around and then we'll see. Well, I'm happy with that. First time's a charm. It's a very nice minty kind of green. Why do they call it mint green? Like that's mint, right? It's well bright. And this is not bright. Anyway, who cares? Mint green. What we're gonna do now is two-tone this in our piping bag. So again, you might have seen us doing this before. And we're gonna use some cling film to aid us with this. This isn't like, you don't have to do this. You can just put both colors in the piping bag, but this just makes it a whole lot easier. So I'm gonna grab my first color, so the green, and I'm gonna put it in a long line down the cling film. Just get all of this out. And then I'm gonna get my white. Just give this a little mix. Like you can see, right, this has been sitting around for about an hour or so, and it looks quite kind of airy and fluffy. And if you piped with this or you iced with this, you'll get big air bubbles. So all you need to do is give it a good beat, and it's lovely and smooth again. And what we're gonna do now is put this one next to the green. I'm doing it as fast as I can. Okay, fun time. Now we're gonna roll it up like a sausage or like sushi. So take one side of the cling film, pull it over, roll it into a sausage. To be fair, I've actually never made sushi, so I have no idea if that's how you make sushi. It's probably not. Okay, grab your piping bag. I've got a nice reusable one here with a star nozzle. I think it's a 1M, just a very kind of classic star. And I'm gonna grab the end. You can twist the end up actually, sorry. Kind of missed that. And then we're gonna go whoop and pop it inside. There we go, shimmy it down, pull the piping bag up. Again, we're gonna twist the end of the piping bag so it doesn't splurge out the top. And I'm just gonna give it a little squeeze until we get both colors coming out of the end here. Oh, it's already happening. Beautiful. We are good to go. Let's do this. So I'm just gonna do a nice classic swirly whip, technical term. Gemma and I actually done like quite a few different piping technique masterclasses, so if you want to see a little bit more, I'll put some links in the description box below. Love it. How silky does this buttercream look? Ah, it looks amazing. It's gonna taste so good. Right, so decoration, I'm gonna start with some demerara sugar, which is this stuff here. We don't use it an awful lot, It's a fab decoration though, because it's very, very chunky. And also, this is what's used in a mojito to sweeten it, so it feels only right to include this. And I'm just gonna give a nice little sprinkle on top of each cupcake. The color looks beautiful, actually. And then next up, we're gonna add an extra little zing with some fresh lime zest. So I'm just gonna zest this right over the cupcakes. So you get a little zing in your mouth, but also that green color is gonna make them pop. And now, people, for my piece de resistance. My crystallized mint leaves. Look how pretty they are. They look kind of fancy, and they are a little bit fancy, but they're really easy to make. So I made these earlier before we started, but ideally you want to make them the night before so they dry out completely. And all you want to do is pick off the best looking mint leaves that you have, and then whip up an egg white just with a whisk until it's nice and frothy, and then grab a paintbrush, or you could use your fingers to be honest, and lightly brush each mint leaf with the egg white. Make sure you do both sides, so turn it over and get the other side as well. And now grab some caster sugar, and you want to liberally, and I mean liberally, drench these mint leaves in caster sugar. Again, turn them over and get both sides done, and then pop them onto a plate to dry. And once they have dried, you will have these beautiful mint leaves that are really kind of crispy. I mean, these aren't quite dried out fully, but we'll make do. Like night before, that's what you want to do. They're really crispy and they're really sweet, and oh, they're delicious. So I'm gonna wait to eat them. I'm gonna grab one and just rest it in the top of each cupcake. Love it. How beautiful are these? Oh, amazing. And they taste amazing too. I already know. I've already had many of these mojito cupcakes, but I'll eat it and I'll tell you exactly what's going on in there. So let's peel that back. I love the sponge as well. You can see these little flecks of the lime. This looks gorgeous. Okay, ready? It's like I'm on holiday. I'm by the pool. I've got a mojito. Oh, dreamy. Yeah, not quite. This sponge is lovely and moist. Look at that. And the zingy little lime that you get from there as well is perfect. And this buttercream, like I said, it is super, super smooth. And the rum is so good. And it's not like overly boozy or anything. You just get that rum flavor pulling through along with the mint and the lime. Just like a mojito. Like I really feel like we should stop filming and just drink mojitos now. What do you reckon? Yeah? One of these and a mojito. Oh, the dream. Oh, thanks so much guys for wanting this recipe. I'm really glad that we got to make it together, and I hope you do make it. Let me know how you get on over on Instagram, of course. Use hashtag CupcakeJemma and tag me at Sally Dowles as well so I can see what you're up to. And let me know down below what other cupcake recipes you want. We're obviously going to be doing the blueberry cheesecake, because how have we gotten away with not doing that? I was in the shop the other week and we were like, oh, we need to put this on YouTube. So that's coming your way. And if you want to see some more cupcake recipes, then give this video a thumbs up so that we know what you want to see. And if you're new to this channel, maybe you were Googling mojito cupcakes and you found our channel, then hello, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. There's a button down here so that you get notifications every time we upload a video. Welcome to the baking family. We look forward to seeing you here next week with another recipe for you guys. But the offer of a mojito with a mojito cupcake is too much, so I'm gonna have to say goodbye. So ciao.